Welcome to our show, Immigration Briefing. Today, we have some intriguing news from around the globe. First up, Argentina's President Javier Milei has been granted Italian citizenship during his state visit to Italy, sparking criticism from opposition lawmakers who argue that this expedited process highlights the inequalities in Italy's citizenship laws. It seems like a classic case of who you know, rather than how long you've waited. In other news, Chinese entrepreneurs are looking to the US as they navigate rising tariffs and trade barriers. Businessman Daniel Mai has set his sights on securing an EB-1C visa to ensure his family's future in America. This trend shows how the shifting economic landscape is prompting many to seek opportunities abroad, proving that sometimes, a change of scenery can be the best business strategy. Lastly, mayors from Northern Ontario are rallying against the federal government's plan to cut immigration targets. They argue that the previous rural and northern immigration pilot program was a success in bringing skilled workers to their communities. With local economies at stake, these mayors are calling for the program's permanent establishment to help fill crucial job vacancies. It's clear that immigration plays a vital role in sustaining these regions. Please stay tuned for more detailed coverage of these stories. CNN reports that during a state visit to Italy, Argentina's President Javier Milei was granted Italian citizenship, a privilege stemming from his Italian ancestry, as 3 of his grandparents emigrated to Argentina in 1926. His sister, Karina Milei, also received citizenship during this visit, which coincided with their attendance at a political convention for Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni's far-right Brothers of Italy party. The timing of their citizenship acquisition has drawn criticism, especially with impending changes to Italian citizenship laws that could make it more difficult for foreigners to gain citizenship. Opposition parliamentarian Riccardo Maggi expressed his discontent, highlighting the unfairness faced by those born and raised in Italy who have been waiting for citizenship. The South China Morning Post highlights the shift in mindset among Chinese entrepreneurs like Daniel Mai, who, facing rising tariffs and geopolitical tensions, are now considering relocating to the United States. Mai, who has established production lines in California, initially did not think about living in the US but is now applying for an EB-1C visa to secure permanent residency for himself and his family. This trend is echoed by many other Chinese business owners who are seeking to expand their operations abroad, with a significant proportion planning to go global in the coming years. The changing landscape in China, marked by economic uncertainty and a shrinking domestic market, is prompting more entrepreneurs to explore opportunities in the US and other regions. According to the Toronto Star, mayors from Northern Ontario are voicing their concerns over the federal government's plans to cut immigration targets, arguing that their regions need more immigrants to sustain local economies. The mayors of Sault Ste. Marie, Thunder Bay, and Sudbury have called for the reinstatement of a successful pilot program that helped resettle skilled workers in their communities. They emphasize that immigration is vital for filling job vacancies and reversing population decline, particularly in sectors like mining and healthcare. The mayors argue that a one-size-fits-all immigration policy fails to address the unique needs of northern communities, which have shown the ability to grow and thrive with the right support. Deutsche Welle reports that Italy has granted citizenship to Argentine President Javier Milei, a move that has stirred controversy among opposition politicians. The fast-track process was initiated by Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, who welcomed Milei in Rome. Critics argue that this act of naturalization is discriminatory, especially as many young people born in Italy to migrant parents face lengthy waits for citizenship. Milei, who claims to be 75% Italian due to his grandparents' immigration to Argentina, received his citizenship while his sister also became a citizen. Lawmakers from the opposition have called the decision an insult to those who have lived in Italy for years without citizenship. The Independent highlights Chicago's Mayor Brandon Johnson's commitment to protecting residents amid threats of mass deportations from Donald Trump's incoming administration. Trump's border czar has indicated that deportation sweeps will begin in Chicago, prompting Johnson to assert that local police will not act as ICE agents. Johnson emphasized that while undocumented immigrants who commit violent crimes will face legal consequences, the city will uphold its sanctuary policies to protect vulnerable communities. Advocacy groups warned that Trump's plans could disrupt households and local economies, leading to widespread fear among immigrant populations. CBC reports on the significant challenges faced by Edmontonians seeking passports due to a combination of a Canada Post strike and flooding at the passport office. Many residents were redirected to a different location, leading to long wait times, with some people waiting up to 8 hours only to be turned away. Amanda Busquez, who urgently needed a passport for her son, described the chaotic situation and the frustration of families trying to navigate the backlog. With the passport office's reopening timeline uncertain, Service Canada is working to manage the increased demand, but many are left feeling stranded and helpless. Al Jazeera reports that the Italian government has granted citizenship to Argentinian President Javier Milei, citing his Italian heritage, which has ignited a wave of outrage within Italy. This decision, which also extended citizenship to Milei's sister Carina, has been criticized by opposition lawmaker Riccardo Maggi as a blatant act of discrimination against young Italians who endure lengthy bureaucratic processes to obtain citizenship. Current laws stipulate that foreigners must reside in Italy for 10 years before applying, creating a stark contrast to the expedited process Milei experienced. The far-right government led by Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has been resistant to reforms that would ease the citizenship process for long-term residents, further fueling discontent among those who feel marginalized by such preferential treatment. Australian Broadcasting Corporation highlights the turmoil within the Murdoch family as Rupert Murdoch's succession plan faces significant challenges following a recent court ruling. The court sided with Rupert's 3 children, James, Elizabeth, and Prudence, who contested their father's and eldest son Lachlan's attempts to consolidate power over the family media empire. The ruling revealed that Rupert's plan, dubbed Project Harmony, was perceived as a carefully crafted charade to secure Lachlan's dominance, despite the trust stipulating equal division of power among the siblings after Rupert's passing. As the family navigates this contentious situation, the implications for the Murdoch empire's future remain uncertain, with potential appeals and settlements looming on the horizon. New York Times sheds light on the controversy surrounding President Javier Milei's recent acquisition of Italian citizenship during his visit to Italy, where he mingled with conservative supporters and received a warm welcome from Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. Critics have voiced their frustrations over the citizenship law, which allows individuals with Italian ancestry to obtain citizenship while denying the same to children of immigrants born in Italy. This disparity has led to calls for reform, but Meloni's government has resisted changes, opting instead for a stricter interpretation of existing laws. The situation underscores a growing tension between those advocating for more inclusive citizenship policies and those who uphold the traditional criteria based on bloodlines. The Globe and Mail highlights the potential economic repercussions of Donald Trump's pledge to deport millions of migrants from the U.S. economy. While Trump's election promises aimed at curbing inflation resonate with many, the reality of mass deportations presents a daunting challenge for employers who heavily rely on migrant labor. With approximately 11 million undocumented immigrants making up about 5% of the U.S. workforce, their removal could lead to significant labor shortages, particularly in agriculture and construction. Economists warn that such a drastic measure could hinder economic growth, inflate prices, and ultimately harm both low-income and high-income workers, as the intricate web of economic interdependence is disrupted. In a heartfelt reflection, the Toronto Star captures the bittersweet essence of experiencing Christmas as empty nesters. The author reminisces about the vibrant joy that their twin daughters brought to the holiday season, recalling the sheer delight of watching them tear into gifts with uncontainable excitement. As the years have flown by, the magic of Christmas has shifted, prompting the author to acknowledge the importance of giving back to those in need. They emphasize that while their own children may now be away at university, the spirit of Christmas should be shared with underprivileged kids who may not experience the same joy, urging others to contribute to charitable causes that uplift vulnerable families during the holiday season. The BBC reports on the Weymouth Tandoori restaurant facing a potential license revocation following a Home Office raid that uncovered illegal workers. The restaurant, which has been operational since 2005, is under scrutiny after immigration officials indicated that violations were routinely occurring. While the restaurant's owner claims to have checked work permissions, the ongoing review raises concerns about the establishment's compliance with employment laws. Local council members are divided, with some advocating for the license's revocation due to the severity of the situation, while others argue that the restaurant has not caused any disturbances within the community. The outcome of this review will determine the restaurant's future in the Dorset area. New York Times, in a rare show of unity, Canadian politicians are rallying together to counter President-elect Donald J. Trump's looming threat of imposing 25% tariffs on exports from Canada and Mexico. As Chrystia Freeland prepares to unveil the government's economic statement, the focus has shifted to addressing Trump's claims of an invasion of migrants and fentanyl crossing the border. Despite the lack of federal data supporting these claims, Canadian leaders, including Alberta's Danielle Smith, recognize the seriousness of Trump's rhetoric. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is taking proactive measures, coordinating with provincial premiers to enhance border security through advanced technologies, including drones and drug detection dogs, and fostering collaboration with local law enforcement. This comprehensive strategy aims to mitigate the potential economic fallout from Trump's proposed tariffs. The Toronto Star, in a historic move, Benin has enacted a law granting citizenship to descendants of those affected by the transatlantic slave trade, allowing individuals like Nada Janelka from Martinique to reclaim their heritage. This legislation is part of a broader effort by Benin to confront its own complicity in the slave trade, which saw millions shipped from its shores. Anelka, who traces her lineage back to enslaved ancestors, hopes to gain citizenship and connect with her roots. The law acknowledges various forms of evidence, including DNA tests, to prove ancestry. Benin's initiative follows Ghana's recent naturalization of African Americans, highlighting a growing trend of nations recognizing their historical ties to the diaspora. Benin's approach is particularly poignant given its role as a significant slave trading hub, and the government is also promoting memorial tourism to educate visitors about this dark chapter in history. South China Morning Post, Maxim's group in Hong Kong is blending holiday cheer with charitable giving, pledging to donate a portion of sales from eco-friendly products to Operation Santa Claus, OSC, a charity initiative supporting various NGOs. From December 2024 to February 2025, the group will contribute 10 Hong Kong dollars for each bottle of its BOB craft beer and Weijian tomatoes sold in designated restaurants and bakeries. This initiative also includes the donation of second-hand items to refugees and asylum seekers, reflecting Maxim's long-standing commitment to community support. The company is promoting sustainability alongside charity, with BOB beer made from surplus bread and tomatoes grown using eco-friendly farming practices. Employees are encouraged to participate in volunteering, fostering a culture of empathy and giving back, as illustrated by staff like Milk Chung, who involves her young daughter in charitable activities. Through these efforts, Maxim's group aims to spread festive goodwill while addressing social issues in the community. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Waking up to wonders, checking nature blunders. Got our rockets flying while the oceans are sighing. Lasers in the sky now, holograms we say.